Rose today. Oh, shit. Hey ho, the witch is dead. The witch.
Hello and welcome to Dripping Coils, and I am Neil, and I'm going to pass you on to Jamie. What you vaping on, my mate?
I wasn't even ready for that. Goes to show you how good I am, innit? I am vaping on tonight the Toaster Mod with the Hadley and the usual 12 Monkeys Manga Bees. I don't even want to turn around and tell anyone what juice I'm on. It never bloody changes. And also the Wraith Skunker with the Tsunami 22 with exactly the same juice. How about you, Ash? What are you vaping on?
Well, I'm on my Alien as normal, and I'm also on the Tsunami 22 and vaping the same Twister Lolly.
And
Still,
liquid heroin.
yeah, I'm actually under half now, so it's going down quite well, shall we say. So I need to get another one ordered. Yeah, so but I might try and change the flavour.
Yeah, borrow someone else's ball bag.
All the ball bags gone, mate. I've done 200 mil in just over 2 weeks.
Not bad. I should hand you over to Neil.
Hello. Right, I'm vaping on. Got a bit of juice on this. Molly with the Flav, what I reviewed last week, and I am still loving it. It's yes, even more so now. I like it. Then I've got where's the juice coming from today with the Hadley, the Galactica with the Hadley, and that's it. That's all I've got, and I've got Twister in that, and I've got corn porn. It's called. So I've got some corn porn in that, and there we go. Corn porn. That's an empty bottle, but I've got another 2 in the cupboard. Yeah. So that's it for hand checks, I think. So I think we will go onto the mixing calculators, I think. So I need to screen share and go onto there and onto there and onto there. Right. As you can see, this is one of the sites I found. We're going to talk through most of them. Right, as you can see, this is one I picked first because I think this is the simplest. As you can see, you got your ratio, what you'd like. So I like it 80 VG, 20 PG. Right. Then you put the amount you want to make. So 50 mil. Right. So put that up to 50 mil. The base, nicotine. So at the moment, it's all at 18. If you still got some stock, if people are mixing already, you got 72 there. But to be fair, we'll go on to 18. If you want it to be max VG, get the VG version. Then you put the strength you'd like it. I like it at 3. And then how much flavor you want. This is the good thing. So the base of your flavor, most of them are PG. The odd ones are VG, but most of them are PG. So we'll leave that on there. So if you just want one straight flavor, or you've got a one shot, and they recommend 20%. right? On here now, you'll see that it's 31.7 mils of VG. If you're going to go onto the grams, it's 38.04 grams. Nicotine will be 8.3 mils, 9.96 grams. We haven't got any other liquid like AG or anything going in there. You got 10 mil of concentrate. What's 10 grams? 200 drops. We won't bother with the drops. What comes out of 20%? So your subtotal is 100 grams, 100 mils, 58 grams, 1,000 drops at 100%. So you got that. But what you can do as well, if you are mixing your own juice and you want to put 9% of custard, say, you add there and you want 2% of cream. 3% of cream. And then you want to put some ice cream with it, say 3% of that. So we'll do that. Put that up to 11. Right, so you got the 3 flavors there. So what it'll do now, it'll actually tell you flavor 1. So you'd have to recognize your flavor 1 being whatever. Do you know what I mean? Flavor 1 is the custard. So it'll be 5.5, 1.1, 1.3. So that's pretty good. That's quite a simple one. Right, we're gonna go onto what I've seen before, and we'll go on to this one.
Neil, what's the Twister lolly quick? Is that it on the flavour? Is that VG or PG?
Flavour is PG.
Oh.
Why, mate?
Because my Twister lolly that I made, I done it under VG.
Right, okay. Yeah, most of the flavours are PG, unless it says otherwise. This is a bit different. The recipe name, so you can do your own name. This is a website you can create your own recipes and stuff like that. It's called e-liquid recipes. So the amount you want to make, the strength you want, water, vodka, or PGA. So yeah, no, you don't want that. So you got your PG, your VG. So if you want it like that, your nicotine strength, we'll put that down to 18. PG Nick, that is 0. So you want your nicotine strength is 3. Sorry, the percentage of PG. So I don't like this one. I really don't. I think it's too complicated because I'm even thinking it's a bit. Meh. So we'll move on to that one because I don't particularly like that one. But I wanted to show you. Then these.
Nice to know you tested it before we come on.
I did. Right, there's this one, and I just didn't like it. Right, your nicotine strength there is on this one. I think the first one, this is steam engine. A lot of people have been using steam engine. So your nicotine strength is the percentage. So you want 3%. Then you've got a ratio of VG-PG, 100% PG. No, you don't want that. It will tell you if you're going wrong, like it is doing. There's your basic size. So how many you want to make? 20 mil. Nicotine strength. What you want to target. So that's 3. This is on your target. You put that on 3. What you want to target. Your ratio. That's why that's come up because the ratio is different. So you want to go down onto that. And there we go. Now we'll go on to there and it will tell you percent millions. Right. So you do it like that. Nicotine. You go on to that. Now it tells you nicotine, 0.6 nicotine, 15 VG, 3.5 mils, I think it, and then you put your concentrate flavor. It'll tell you flavor. Add your flavor. Add. Oh. So it'll be 20. Right, so you had that, and it'll go on to that. See, I think some of these are a little bit like you said, because I've not really used a lot of these. These are quite, it's okay. This one's okay, I think. There's another one what I liked as well. I think I've passed that one. Amount of ingredients are. So basically, you press that and go on to that. That's the amount you need, and then you add your. If you got one shot, basically you just put your one shot in, and then that will be the amount. So that is really easy for that. I can't work that fucker out. So, yeah. No, I can't work that out either. Target ingredients.
Sorry, Neil, can I just interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
If anybody's watching the show that's in chat, can you just have a look and see if Neil is glitching across the top of the screen, black and white boxes, because the feed that I'm getting is blurred. I can't read any of the calculators that you've just done. The byte rate is really low. I can't read the live stream at all. So what you're doing at the moment, Neil, I can't read.
Right, okay.
I think the stream, the stream's current byte rate is 535 kilobytes per second, and they recommend a 2,500 kilobyte a second byte rate. It's really low tonight.
I can read what he's doing, but he has got. See, since he's come off that page, the white boxes have changed.
Right.
No, there they are back, but not as bad.
Every now and again, it sort of pops up along the very top of the screen. If anybody is watching, they're in chat. Can you just confirm that you're getting the same, please? Sorry, Neil.
I can read it though.
Are you watching it live on YouTube as well, Jay?
No, I'm just watching it as it's done now.
Yeah, see, that works fine. But if you watch this stream, because I've got it muted, it's all blurred. It's all pixelated. I can't see it.
Right, okay.
Right, that's not good then, is it?
No, it's not, because people that are watching, we have got 4 viewers, but I can't read it.
Yeah, because I'm just going to do another one, what I think's good here as well, because that's the one I couldn't work out, and that's why I did it. See, you got this one here. The target nicotine level, 18 milligrams. The amount of created, 10 mils. 20% of finger PG. You can change that. Nicotine base is PG. Flavor base is PG. PG, you can actually just put 0, and that's the amount it'll give you. So it is very, very easy, this one as well. So that's the e-liquid flavor concentrate. So there is quite a few out there, right? What we'll do is, because Ash has said we've got glitchy problems, I will come off this now, and yeah, we'll. I'll probably try to do it again.
Yeah, I'm just getting a really bad blur, and I mean really bad.
Right, I don't know how.
I haven't had anything confirmed yet. That's.
But I can't get back out. Ash, have you screen shared me or something?
No. So you've glitched. You're glitched out.
No, he's back now. He was glitching out.
Right,
Okay.
there you go. Right. We'll have to do. If it's bad when we look back at it, we'll have to just do it that again. I do apologise if that's the case, because obviously I didn't know until Ash had told me.
I've only just noticed it myself. Obviously,
B just confirmed it. B just confirmed
Okay.
it. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
It's at the-
If I just right, that's the live stream there.
Oh no, it looks all right. Looks all right.
See, now that looks
Looks fine. It looks fine, lads.
that
I'm just
seems to have
watching-
sorted itself out now.
Yeah, it's
That seems to have corrected itself.
yeah. Right, we're sorted. Excellent.
Let me just go.
You're going to carry on then?
Yeah, right. So obviously,
I'll keep an eye on it, Neil.
yeah. Well, I've shown what I've shown. There's some, like you said, I couldn't look at all of them. The ones that I've looked at, obviously, but I wanted to show you some of them. Some of them, even I'm thinking, how can I calculate that? Because it doesn't clearly state. But I can get obviously the results on, so I'm doing it clear. But the thing is with me that I do it all in my head. I'm better. It's even with normal maths. I'm better without a calculator. And that's not sounding big-headed. It's just the way my brain works. And a lot of people like that. They're old school. Do you know what I mean? We weren't allowed to take calculators into exams and stuff like that. So when I was growing up, we weren't allowed. You had to work it out on your head or on a piece of paper. So yeah, it's that generation, isn't it? But as you can see, hopefully it's cleared that up. If you are struggling and you can't find them websites, I think we can stick them in the description, can't we?
Yeah.
I'll stick them in the description at the bottom of this video, and then you can click on to which one you prefer. I've shown you 6 there, I think. Is it 5 or 6 I've shown? Yeah, I've shown one at the end as well, didn't I? That was pretty good as well. Vampire Vapes do one. So just have a look. All I wrote in is e-liquid calculator, and it literally just come up with that choice of that page. So
the stream's gone back to normal now.
Excellent. That's good to know.
Might be worth, Neil, later on, maybe that your calculators that you were doing, maybe where you're doing your live videos, it might actually be worth just doing a live on the group tomorrow or whatever of that website again, just so it's clear.
I don't know if you can screen share on Facebook, can you?
No.
Don't think you can, Ash.
I think you can. Don't give him another reason to go live. What is it with you two at the minute?
Unless I go through XSplit and do it that way.
You got something going on.
Yeah, you could do it like that.
Who?
You two.
What?
Cool. You don't need much of an excuse to go live for no apparent reason, do you? So have you two got something going on? Something I know nothing about.
Jamie, we have nothing going on.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Whispering little sweet nothings into your ear. Yeah.
You think what you want, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, I've got a picture of Ash in front of my screen so I don't have to bend over to wank.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What's what you're saying, Neil?
Oh, well, no, but I didn't say the C word. I'm not doing another forfeit, no way. I know you'd like me to, but never.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
are you done, Neil? Are we shooting?
yeah.
Jamie now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over to you, Jamie.
Right. Hello. Time for something a little bit more less interesting. Right. As you know, there's been a video going around Facebook. I think it's been posted on our group of a British lord that tells the truth about the TPD and vaping regulations, about how he deems them to be a load of crap. He explains how about that normally if you want to lay rules and regulations down, they have to go through Parliament, but they knew they were, by the time it had gone through Parliament, it probably would have been thrown out. It wouldn't have gone through. So they went to the EU. If you go it through the EU, basically you're told physically, well, yeah, it's got to go through. It's a regulation. And then we like it and lump it and it has to go through. And basically he's very honest. He explains that his son used to smoke and has turned to vaping, hadn't touched a cigarette since. He's really all for the vaping community. So as long as it works, okay. Just got a little video for you to watch. It's about what, about 6.5 minutes long, and just see what you think.
I'll keep an eye on it as well. Make sure it doesn't pixelate out.
But I have looked at these regulations, and some people who've spoken in this debate clearly haven't. If you wanted to actually sabotage a product and add to the costs of producing that product and limit the scope for competition with that product and drive out of business small producers, it is hard to see how a more effective job could be done in respect of the regulations that apply to electronic cigarettes. And as far as the noble lords who argued that this was all a plot by the tobacco companies are concerned, one way of ensuring that all of this ends up in the hands of large businesses will be by pursuing exactly these regulations, by limiting choice, and of course by creating a black market which will be accessed through the internet, as we've seen occur over and over again in respect of medicinal products. There seems to be no logic in the regulations. We've already touched on the point as to why some advertising is allowed and not others. And I find it extraordinary that a government would want to ban advertising when the evidence which we've had from Ash, the noble lord referred to that, says that perceptions of harm from electronic cigarettes have grown, with only 15% of the public accurately believing in 2016 that electronic cigarettes are a lot less harmful than smoking. Now, if most people don't realize the benefits of it, what on earth is the logic of preventing people advertising it? And how does the noble lady, Baroness Walmsley, explain that she wants a public information campaign? How do you have a public information campaign without advertising the benefits of electronic cigarettes? And therefore, why is she against the advertising of electronic cigarettes? There is no logic in this. Now, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning the fact that my son is, I'll give way in a second, but I'll just finish the point. My son is 37 years old. He has smoked cigarettes since he was 16, to the best of my knowledge, probably earlier. 3 Christmases ago, and he smoked very heavily. 3 Christmases ago, I should declare an interest, I bought him an electronic cigarette. And as a result, he's reduced the levels of nicotine, and all the things that we've tried. I've tried blackmail, I've tried bullying, we've tried nicotine patches, we've tried everything under the sun, and it's worked. And the figures show that 1/3 of the 2.8 million adults who are vaping in this country are ex-smokers. So the arguments that have been put for the public health benefits are overwhelming. Now, it pains me to say this, but this is a classic example of gold plating of European regulations by the UK Health Department. It is. And of course, the point is that because they've gold plated these regulations, there's actually nothing we can do about it because they're EU regulations and we're required to implement them. And I just wonder what on earth was going on in the Department of Health that made them do this. And when you see something absurd happening, ask, cui bono, who benefits from this? Well, certainly the government benefits from it, because people who are continuing to smoke cigarettes will pay a very considerable amount in tax to the exchequer. Those people who start vaping, instead of paying, I don't know how much, I've never smoked in my life, don't know how much a packet of cigarettes costs, but I'm told it's about £9. £9 for 20 cigarettes. Vaping, you will spend that in a week. And therefore, for those families on low incomes, and many of the people who smoke heavily are amongst the lowest income families, will actually benefit from something which enables them to deal with the addiction which they have to nicotine and be able to remove from it. So who benefits from this? Certainly not those people who are amongst the poorest in our country who are smokers. The exchequer benefits, the treasury benefits, if people are still smoking cigarettes because they get the tax on those cigarettes, which is very considerable. And of course, the pharmaceutical companies benefit who sell the nicotine patches. And of course, the tobacco companies benefit because people are not switching away. So what on earth is the government doing promoting the interests of the tobacco companies and the large pharmaceuticals? Because that is the effect of this. And the regulations go, I mean, the detail is unbelievable. It even spells out which typeface, Helvetica, whether it should be bold or italic, should appear on the warnings. I mean, this is North Korean stuff. This is utterly absurd regulation. And we may laugh at it, but what it means, as the noble Lord Campbell Saylors pointed out, what it means is that small businesses up and down the country will have to comply with these regulations, will have to work out what they mean, will have to change all their literature and everything else, and as a result, be driven out of business. Now, we're in a bit of a quandary here because, of course, there's much in these regulations which is actually quite desirable. And when we have left the European Union, we will be in a position where we can actually hold our ministers to account and actually hold votes and actually make these things happen. But I hadn't realized this very clever operation by the Department of Health. What you do is you have some absurd regulations which you know you're not going to get through the House of Commons. So what you do is you go to Brussels and you persuade them to include them in an EU directive, and then hey-ho, they have to sail through both houses because there's nothing we can do about it. And we all take part in this pantomime where we explain all the reasons why they should be changed, knowing full well there's very little we can do about it until we leave the European Union. So I congratulate my noble friend on his efforts, and I do hope that the government will rethink, when they are free to do so, these absurd regulations which will undoubtedly cost lives. They will undoubtedly cost lives, and they are a classic example of how big business is able to use Brussels together with lobbying organizations to the disadvantage, and indeed in this case, to the life-threatening disadvantage of the citizens of this country.
Bring the House.
Has he crashed?
No, I'm still.
No, he's swapping his mic
I
over.
have to stop myself.
Right,
Well,
okay.
there you go.
Interesting.
So there you go. It's basically interesting of what he says, and he's been very, very upfront, very, very vocal, and there's 100% of what he says is what he says is right. He's got all the evidence there, and basically what he's saying is the rules come into effect, the TPD come into effect because we couldn't stop it. The government couldn't. The government couldn't stop it. So it was going to happen. It was inevitable. It was going to happen anyway. But I just hope what he says happens. That when we do leave the EU, and that they do relook at it and they do change it, because lots of lives are going to be lost because of this. And I just hope that they do rethink, the plans change. I know there will be changes. There's inevitable. There's going to be changes that they will stick to. But he's right in what he says. So yeah, if you like the video and you agree with what he says, post something up on our page and stuff like that. But I think he's congratulations to the British Lord. Well done, really. It's nice to know that we've got someone in there actually, believes that vaping does what it says.
I think it's a bit too late for him to say it. He should have said it probably 2 years ago.
Well, no, but but the thing is, they probably, the evidence wasn't really there. What he's saying was true. No evidence. They come up with all these regulations, but the evidence wasn't there for them to implement the regulations that they were basing the regulations on. So basically, they
very
just
grey. Yes, it was very grey. Yes.
So what they were doing is they made up these regulations. It's true what he's saying, because the government make money out of people buying cigarettes because of the tax. Big companies make money because all the while tobacco companies, because all the while you're buying cigarettes, tobacco companies are making money. If you go to e-cigarettes, the tobacco companies aren't making any money anymore, and their revenue drops. The same with the government. Their revenue will drop because they can't, because there's no tax on e-cigarettes.
That's why I think some of these stories, these battery stories, some of them are true, but I think some of them are made up as well. I think a lot of the scaremongering and stuff like that is by, this is my opinion, so is made up and is sort of like Chinese whispers, if you know what I mean. And I think some of it is blown out proportion from the big tobacco and other means to discredit vaping.
Yeah,
And,
it's true what it's true what you're saying, because one of the posts that was put up, I think either by the Daily Mirror, I was going to say a reputable paper, but they just come out with, well, if it ain't shitty news, it ain't news. They're not going to put something up that's happy and all of that, because no one wants to read it. But it was like they put about batteries exploding, turned around and said it was in a mod and all of that, and mods are bad. But then when you investigated it and you looked further, which lots of vapors did, there were loads of holes within their story. The fact of the matter that the batteries weren't even in a mod, they were literally loose inside a person's pocket, and his mod was nowhere near them batteries.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that the batteries arced out because he either had keys or change in his pocket. They never mentioned any of that. They probably got told the whole story, but then only took what they wanted out of that story to make vaping look bad. Yeah, and that's correct. All the papers seem to do, because it to tell the truth doesn't make news, does it? It doesn't make make news. But
they've got to dramatize it to sell papers.
Well, it's
dramatize everything.
It's like most of the mobile phones we carry now, the fact that they're basically explosives in your pockets, because if the battery inside the battery comes exposed to air, they go off like a firework. So theoretically, you're walking around with something that can explode in your pocket anyway. But it's just because, they're just looking for reasons. They're just looking for reasons and excuses about why they've implemented these regulations. So they just look for the bad things about vaping. It's just, not all the good things that it does, just the bad things that it does.
Yeah, it's all negative. Everything's always negative. But if they actually look at the chemicals, the imbalance in the batteries, it's very, very hard to get one of these batteries we use to explode. It's very, very hard to explode. You've got to really dead short it. So it's all right. So the odd mod has gone and stuff like that, where it's burnt the chip out and stuff like that. But it's mainly idiots putting batteries. There's one on our page that we're done where a lad has put batteries in a battery charger into his bag.
And then left them. Yeah, he left them in there.
And then left them. And obviously the battery's moved, hard shorted, and no, it's not exploded, but it's burnt a hole in his bag because it started to vent a little bit. And that's error. That's ridiculous, because we've always saying you put them in plastic cases. Like I'm going to Vape Fest. I'm going to put every single battery in a plastic case. Any mod,
sorry,
bag, I'm not going to be literally in my hand or at the side of me. He's not going to have a battery in either. They will be in the cases. So when you want to use the mod, you just put a battery in, off you go. Any others you're not using don't have a battery in it. If you're out all day, there's no point of having batteries in something you're going to have in your bag and might not use for 6 hours. It's ridiculous.
But it's not like the batteries are cheap anyway. So not being funny, if you're going to leave batteries loose in your pocket and lose 2 of them and probably take half your leg with it, you've got to go out then to buy 2 new batteries. So it's like I've got a battery case. I have one mod. I take one mod to work. I take my e-liquid, and I have a battery in the mod, and I have 2 spares in a plastic case to go in my bag, and then I just swap them out. Yeah. So it's not hard to do. God, cases for 18650 batteries are next to nothing.
I think you can get about 10 of them for about $2.99 off eBay.
Yeah, and I agree. Pennies. I agree with you. I agree with you, Henry. You can't help stupid.
No, you can't help stupid. Definitely, you cannot help stupid at all. And the thing is, there needs to be some regulations to cater for Mr. Stupid. There's got to be. We're not saying that, but it's ridiculous. The things like I cannot work out why the 10ml bottle. I just can't. It's nothing to do with safety at all.
Well, no, it's wastage. Ridiculous. All they keep preaching to us is how they want to go green, how they want to save the environment, how you must recycle. What's the, you go and buy, you used to buy a 30ml bottle, one bottle, 30ml. Now there are shops out there where there's no regulation saying you can't buy as many 10ml bottles. It's just got to be sold in 10ml. There are shops out there with a plastic tube. Within that plastic tube is 3 plastic bottles, and you buy it for whatever. So all of that packaging. That's what I can't understand. All of that packaging, all of the cost to manufacture that packaging, and all they preach about is how green we're meant to be going and everything else, and recycle. And you're going to end up with thousands of 10ml bottles.
See, the funny thing is, they say that they're doing it for safety, right? This will be their argument. They're doing it for safety because if a child gets hold of it or whatever. So these are not banned now, right? The 100ml bottles, they're banned. But if you've got 10ml bottles, are you telling me that child will go, I'm only having one bottle because it's a bit naughty just touching one bottle? No, he's going to probably drink all 10 bottles if you leave it in a stupid place. So he's still going to drink the 100ml. The thing is, they've all got safety caps on. So if you can get into that, it can get into your bleach in your cupboard, what you've got, probably a litre of it. So
but you can still buy.
It's ridiculous.
You could still buy 100ml bottles. So what's not to say that you go to the shop, you buy 100ml of juice, and then you go home and tip all of that juice in your 100ml bottle, and you just leave it on the side. It's exactly the same thing.
But the only thing is, it's possible that someone might put it in a bigger container and not have a safety cap on. So it's leading to that side as well. I'm not saying people will, but it's. Yeah, I believe in the safety caps, and even without the laws and everything like that, even 3 years ago, they had safety catches on them. Most of them did anyway, and because vapors did that, they said, no, we want this safe for our kids. Actual vapors did that in the community. We want our juice to be safe for our children, and it just makes sense. But I can't see the sense of, yes, you can't buy any more than 10ml. All it's to do with, mate, is money. And basically, it's big tobacco saying, right, they want that to be juiced down, so they take more control of it because it will take people out of business, and it has done. It took a lot of people out of business, and all this testing and all that. It's crippled some people, and they've just gone, no, it's not worth it. I can't be bothered, and just closed the companies down. And some really good vape companies have gone. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame because some of them just think it's too daunting, it's too grey area. I can't be bothered with it. Some of the people do it. The ones who have done it full time have been in it a long time. They've carried on. But the ones who were just doing it sort of like a sideline, they folded up. Do we want them in our community selling juice if they're only part time? I don't know. That's a bit of a grey area again, then, isn't it? Everyone's entitled to have a little bit of a business on the side, but as long as they do things properly, I can't see the point, but see the problem. But yeah, it is all, and I agree with him. It's all based around money. Yeah. But I've said that so many, and I think 90% of the vaping community has always said that it's about money. It's not about the danger and all this lot. It's about money.
Well, it's like what Henry said. He said, you go to Tesco, you buy 1 litre of bleach with a child safety cap.
Yep.
But they're worried about a child and 100ml of e-liquid that has a safety cap.
See, the thing is,
there's no logic to any of what they come with.
Well, you put it in balance. If a child, and I wouldn't bring it up on this, right? If a child drunk 100ml of 3 milligrams, right? Well, I'd say average people are on 6, right? So a 6 milligram bottle of 100ml and a 100ml bottle of bleach. Which one's going to be the worst off? Because it's going to be the bleach, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because if they drank 100ml of 3 milligram, they'd be ill. They'd be vomiting and everything else, but it wouldn't kill them. But the bleach would kill them.
Kill them because it burns your insides out, and you can't stop it. Or be seriously ill. And then that's what I mean. They'll be unwell with the nicotine, but it might race the heart and stuff, but it'd make them poorly, but it wouldn't kill them. And that side of it has always baffled me. you can buy as much sprays and stuff like that. And yeah, it's
the
like
bleach,
this.
the bleach would clean them out, though.
Oh yeah, definitely, it'd clean them out. But that's what our argument was for a long time. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we don't really we haven't really covered the TPD a lot. But the thing is, we know roughly where we stand now. And has it changed us vaping? No, not at the moment. The only people I probably feel sorry for is the newbies. And what I'm worried about, as I know, and Jamie knows, and Ashley knows, it's changed our lives. I used to have bronchitis really bad. Every year it was getting worse. And now since I've been vaping, my bronchitis has been getting better and better and better every year. I still believe that my dad, if he hadn't stopped smoking and he didn't go into vaping, he'd be dead by now. I honestly believe that, because he's got heart disease. He's got heart disease and he's got lung disease. He was getting bronchitis and bad pneumonia every single year, and he was on really strong antibiotics every single year. Last year he didn't have one antibiotic for his chest. He had it for other reasons, but he didn't have it for his chest. And it's just, yeah, it's all. I'm not saying it's the magic story kind of thing, but I don't think I've spoke to one vapor in all the years I've been vaping that have had a really bad experience with it. The only thing I've heard a bad experience is people getting bad nick rushes because they're on 24 milligrams because they're stupid and absolutely chaining it. But yeah, that's the only bad thing of it. Other long-term thing is I've been vaping nearly 5 years. No, I've not heard anyone from 5 years ago who's been ill through vaping now. I haven't heard of it. So it's stupid, like he said, to actually stop it. I am not saying it's healthy because anything in your lungs, but if you live in a city and you cycle in the city every day, is that healthy? All the carbon fumes, and that's an argument again. You know what I mean? It's might be a thing. I live right in the countryside, so I don't get the fumes like someone living in the city. So yeah.
Henry's just put, but would you feel the same about the TPD if you had to buy 10 ml bottles and didn't mix your own?
That's why I said, Henry, that I feel sorry for the newbies because they've got no choice. I knew it was coming. I was buying my own. Years ago, I did mix, and then I've started to mix now. It's luckily, if someone is struggling or doesn't like the idea of all these 10 ml bottles, there is always the one shots, what I've shown on my videos. The one shots are a very, very good idea because you get, like Ash has done it now. It's quite easy, quite simple. So yeah, I think I would slightly, if I had no knowledge at all, I'd probably be doing what Ashley's doing now, is just trying the one shots. But if I was an average vapor, I don't think I'd worry as much because I wouldn't be as vaping as much. If you're still on the Ego pens or something like, you would not be using as much e-liquid. I think when I first gave up, I was using something like 3 ml a day. So it wasn't a problem. A 10 ml bottle was lasting me 3 days. So I'd use 30 ml a week, so it wouldn't bother me the same. But now, yeah, I'm doing 100. So if I didn't have that route, yes, I don't think I would think about the TPD. I would be, but there's no point being annoyed about it either at the same time, is there? Because you just wind yourself up. Basically, you just got to go out there and buy your e-liquid. It is bad, and that's why I said the new starters and the people who have not done who haven't done the DIY. That's why we've done what we've done on this show, to try to help people who haven't had the experience, to try give them the experience so they can have a choice of different e-liquids and they're not stuck with just the 10 ml bottles. I hope that has answered some of your question, Henry. That's my personal opinion, anyway. And that was a very good question, and that put me on the fucking spot. That was a brilliant.
That's what we want, though.
That's what we want, and this is what we've said from day one. We want people in chat giving us questions. Put me on the spot. I'll try my best. I'll try giving you my honest opinion. You might not like it, but I'm giving you my honest opinion. And
Henry said, totally agree with you. Thanks for the answer.
I'm here to help, mate, and just pass it on to your friends, mate. We're here to help.
We're here.
We're
here to help.
We would love, and I might be just saying this just for me, but we would love not to do anything on the show, but just answer people's questions. I'd love it like that, where literally the hangout, the chat is absolutely full, and people just literally asking us questions. We'd love it like that. We'd absolutely love it, because it'll be a bit of interaction. People, we're helping people out. We're doing this to try to help people come to transcend, to move away with the TPD, because it is a bit. I think Henry was right in one way that it's a bit daunting. It's a bit like, oh, what do we do, TPD? And I think a lot of people have done that. And I've seen
just
people.
A pain in the arse.
Yes.
It's caused so many issues. The thing,
and
like Jamie said, you've got the waste now as well. You've got the packaging. You've got the 10ml bottles.
We're coming like that now with 10ml bottles in a bottle.
It's going to double, or triple the recycling easily. They haven't thought about that.
The recycling companies will be happy though, because they'll make more money.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, everything's got a point to it. Do you know what I mean?
And up your poll tax to pay for the recycling of the 10ml bottles.
Yeah,
it'll affect us, and it'll always affect us. Always affects the consumer.
I just hope if this happens, when we move the EU, I don't think it will change instantly. But I just hope it doesn't. I just hope it doesn't change for the worst. Because at the moment, compared to some places in the world,
I don't think it will.
But compared to some people in the world, mate, we've got it quite lightly.
I agree with Henry though, because there's some of what he says is true. It's to make money. At the moment, they're not making any money out of vaping. So unless they tax the hell out of it, to basically, so they're not taking any losses in cigarettes, unless they tax the hell out of it, the likeliness of them changing is probably very remote. Like I agree with him. I hope they do, but
they don't look at it long term, because if you think about it, how many people have got jobs because of this? How much revenue they're actually producing because of vaping? They haven't looked into that. And the thing is, this market, if they actually let it go and actually let the people within reason do, and let the little boy, like that guy said, let the little boy not get strangled, then the government and the country is going to benefit, because more people get jobs, more people have money to spend, so that will create more jobs, because other shops, you've seen it around the country, more shops closing down. There's that many shops are closing down. It's unbelievable, not just with vaping, because people are not spending. So it just doesn't make sense to me, and it's a chance for us to get out the gloom and doom what this country's been in for 6 or 7, maybe 8 years, because it is an industry, a millions pounds industry. What could actually create? It could be endless. It could be absolutely unbelievable. But if they sell it to let the big tobacco take it over, see, the thing is, they've had it that good for so many years, and that product kills people. So they're going to let a product who kill people take over a product that doesn't. I just don't think that's fair. I really don't, because I think they've had their day. So tough. They give us tobacco long enough, and it's just, I think it's time for other people to have their piece of their pie. Very heavy.
He ain't heavy, he's my brother.
I can see me getting a lot of shit for that, but it's true. It's very true.
Why would you?
How would you get shit for it though?
Because it's Neil.
Some people might not agree, mate, and it's me. I always say the wrong thing.
Well, I don't think you have.
No, I think a lot of people would be on your side personally, because a lot of people there is
we want to be
probably 90% that are against the TPD because it's just crippled a lot of people. It's like all these little businesses now, like you were talking about. A lot of them have just gone, I can't be bothered with it, and they've sold up. They've just disappeared, and it's a shame.
As we know through, I'm not naming people, but talking to some of the people, the amount of work they had to do, and most of it was off their own back by ringing and ringing and ringing, and people they rang have passed the book on because they didn't have a clue. It's ridiculous. They didn't even know the cells, and it was just like, hang on, how do you expect them to put it in place if you didn't know? So it was up to the, in a way, up to the vendor to actually find out for himself. And it was just like, yeah, it was wrong in a way, and that's why we never did a full TPD show, because we didn't really know what was happening, because some of it was speculation, and now, yeah, we know what's true and what's coming in, but we've known it for years and years. It's yeah. Unfortunately, it's in, and that's it. We've got to live with it for at least 2 years. If it changes when the thingy, who knows? Because people say, "Oh, it's definitely going to change." It might not. We don't know.
The thing is, though, if it does change, like you say, it's not going to be straight away. It's going to take time. It's not going to be an instant thing. It's going to be probably a year or so before even there's inklings of it, or it's going to change. So it's a matter of patience.
Yeah, I think some people think, "Oh, we'll leave the EU and straight away we'll
immediately
don't exist." No. It doesn't work.
No.
And just hopefully it doesn't go the wrong way.
No.
But with people like that standing up for the vaping community and saying that, it looks good, and that's why we shared that video, because it looks really good for us at the moment. Because we have got the odd person saying in who matters are saying, look, you've got to look at this seriously, because this is an industry what's growing and helps people off a serious addiction. Because I think some of the vapors forget a little bit. I don't mean on purpose, but I think you forget how hard and how addicted you was on them cigarettes. The addiction is horrendous. See, with tobacco, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but me on when you was on cigarettes, you used to get that urge where you really had to have a cigarette. If not, you've near enough grinding your teeth, or you just wanted to kill someone. But with vaping now, over the years, I don't get that urge at all to have nicotine. I don't get that sudden, really strong urge to have a vape. It just seems a lot milder, and I'm just literally there just a vape. And I think now I'm on 1.1 milligrams. I think I just vape because I enjoy vaping.
Well, I haven't put my mod to my mouth since this show started.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Are you getting an urge for nicotine?
No.
That's what I'm saying. But with a cigarette, could you go that long without a cigarette?
No.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing as well. I think the quality of life you got as well, because in a way, your life revolved around cigarettes, completely revolved around cigarettes. Because even if you was at work, you was like, "Oh, I need 5 minutes to get a fag." Do you know what I mean? And it was just literally, do you know what I mean? Even when I was on the buses, it was literally, I've got to get to a certain place so I can have a fag, get out the bus and have a fag. It was all revolving around cigarettes all the time. And that is, in a way, it comes very addictive that way as well. And emotionally, it can be quite, yeah, it's horrible. But now, you don't see it when you are a smoker. You don't see it that way. You don't see it at all until you get vaping. And now vaping, if I leave that at home by mistake, I'll think, "Oh God, I forgot my vape," and I'll think, "Oh no, it doesn't matter."
I've done that 2 days ago. A couple of days ago, I left I had all my bits for me. Got to work and went, oh, right, okay, I've forgotten that. Admittedly, I made a phone call and made someone drop it down to me, but I didn't give him a time. I just said, drop it down when you finish work. So it was like, there was no, it was like, I was literally just down the road when I noticed I hadn't got it. I could have turned around and easily come back for it. Where if it had been cigarettes, you would have turned around, come back for them, and made yourself late. But with an e-cigarette, I was like, oh no, I can do without it. I can do without it. I totally agree with it. I totally agree with it, with the urge side of it. The urge is nowhere near as strong as what it is when you smoke cigarettes.
And when you first started to vape, you're not thinking about having that. You think of having cigarettes. And then obviously that just knocks the urge off of your cigarettes. And once that urge of cigarettes and that cigarette stuff comes out your body, and that the effects of cigarettes have come out your body, then you're just relying on that. And then obviously that, I wouldn't say it's easy. If anyone's watching this and they've just started to give up,
the best person to ask,
give up, it's hard. It is hard.
The best person to ask, because out of both of us, the newest person to vaping is Ashley. So the best person to ask would actually be him, because he smoked fags.
Go on, Ash.
Yeah, go on.
No. Go on.
Do you still get the urge for cigarettes? How long have you give up for? Do you have an urge? Because I can't say that. I don't think Jamie can, because I've given up for nearly 5 years. So,
to be honest, I've been vaping now, I'd say 6-7 months.
Right.
And I will admit I do get the urge. It doesn't help the wife smokes. It's a really difficult. Some people might be against me here and go, "Oh no, it's easy." It's not as easy as what you think.
No, it's not.
Now,
no, it's not.
Some people might have a partner, wife that doesn't smoke, and you do it together. Now, my wife, she tried vaping, and it really does hurt her throat. And I've seen her try it, and literally her eyes are streaming and everything. And that's literally on the lowest nicotine you could do, and it's still very harsh on her throat. So it is very difficult. Because if I'm going to work or whatever, she's just been out for a cigarette, I'll give her a kiss, goodbye, I'm off to work, and straight away you can taste the cigarette, and it's like, and I will admit, I get the urge massively.
As soon as you vape, how quickly does that urge go?
As soon as I'm vaping, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because I've got the nicotine in there. Now I'm only vaping 3 milligram, and I have not got a problem with that.
Would you say you made it stronger or less strong than when you did smoke?
I'd say less.
Yeah.
It has helped me a lot. I used to do 40 fags a day.
Wow.
I was that bad. I was that bad.
Lot.
Yeah, and for my age, I'm 29 years old. And I was bad. In the mornings, I was coughing and spluttering. And my family said, "You need to stop." And I said, yeah. And I met Jamie, and we all got together, and he said, "I'll get you vaping." And ever since then, that's what he's done. And he gave me a few mods to get me going. And it's been the best thing I've done, because I'd be touching it. The urge is there, and I taste them from the wife. But yeah, the vaping has helped massively.
See, I'm good. I am.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
That's what we want. And the thing is, the people who have tried and thinking like, we're not saying it's a miracle cure, because it's not. You've still got to have the will. You want to give up. Basically, you've got to go up to an e-cigarette and go, "I am not smoking anymore. I'm just vaping this. It doesn't matter what it's doing to me or whatever. I've got to beat it." With the harshness in your throat and everything like that, I think it is your body changing. And the thing is, your taste buds do go through different times as well, where you're a bit coffee. I was a bit coffee at first, I don't know if you was, Ashley. I was coughing a bit every time I vaped and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not the
well,
vapor. That's not the vapor. That's the shit coming out of your lungs.
Yeah, they do say when you give up smoking and you go over to vaping, or you just cold turkey, you give up, that's it, don't need anything else. After 2 weeks, you really do start bringing the muck up. Some points I couldn't breathe. It was that bad, and it's just terrible. I've got a friend that's I've tried to get him vaping because he said, oh, I want to give up. I've got another friend that just gave up like that, and he's got the willpower and he's doing really well. It's been 2 years now and he hasn't smoked, and he can stand around people that smoke and it does not affect him. But this other friend, he's on 60 a day, wow. 60 cigarettes a day, right? And he's mad. He is constant, one after the other. And it's really, really bad, because I've turned around to him and said, you really do need to give up. He's 28. He's a year younger than me, and it's nasty. 60. And when he coughs,
yeah.
he sounds like an 80-year-old
yeah.
that smokes. It's nasty. And he's tried vaping, believe it or not, and he cannot find the strength good enough to take the urge away, because he smokes. Literally, he'll have one, put out 2 minutes later, he'll spark another one up, because he's constantly got that fix. They cannot find him one. He's been on the highest you could possibly go, and it just doesn't do anything for him. And that was it. I don't think he's ever going to give up, Neil, to be honest. It's difficult as well, because you sort of stay and see him and think, I used to be like that. Not smoking that many, but the coughing, or I wake up in the morning and I can't breathe, or it's like on my chest. And then I had kids, and it's like, you sort of think to yourself, I'd like to see my kids grow up, because you see all these videos and stuff where they do the smoking and then they bring kids into it, and like the NHS smoking adverts, and it was nasty. And that sort of rung alarm bells for me. And I was like, no, I love my kids, and things need to change. And I've tried doing it. Wife going, look, you need to, yeah, it's palming me off, sort of, and I've given up. I love her to bits, but when I kiss her, it's like kissing an ashtray now. Sorry. She'll watch this later after she comes back from a day out, so I do apologise. But yeah, it is.
I think when you're a vapor,
it was hard.
Sensitive to it, and you think, God, it's awful, mate. Awful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what I used to smell like, mate. I go near smokers now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but there are people I know now that vape and have gone to put a cigarette to their mouth and can't do it. They can't stand the smell or the taste anymore.
No,
so they literally can't do it, and they can't be around people that smoke because of the smell. No. I know a few people that are like that, and literally they will never go back to smoking because, you know, how it tastes, and it just makes them feel ill.
Yeah,
it is. I'm glad I've done it now. I must admit,
I think now and again I do get, when I get seriously stressed, I do have a slight urge of a cigarette, but it's literally blasé. It literally goes dink, dink. It literally switches on, switches off. I think that's always with you. I know for my granddad had give up for 25 years, not had a cigarette for 25 years, and some nice person smashed his greenhouse up. What was his love of his life? And he said to my dad, God, I could do with a cigarette now. And that was after 25 years. So I don't think it ever leaves you. But like you say, the urge is not as strong. It just literally on off. I could do with a cig. And then it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. So,
apologies, Henry. I wasn't ignoring you. I didn't have the chat up. I dread to think he's a builder. So he's self-employed, so he's not on brilliant money. So yeah, it does surprise me on how he can afford it, especially at nearly £10 a packet. Nearly £10 a packet, so that's a lot of money a week. But he does it. I'm glad I'm not him, I must admit. Because you just look at him and think, As soon as he's got a fan, as soon as he coughs, it's like he has bronchitis. That's how bad his cough is. It's in the lungs, and yeah, it's nasty. And I thought, if I carried on, I'd probably end up like that. So I'm glad Jamie come along.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually, but
I was just about to say, Henry, if you're not in our group, please join our group. We'd love to see you posting and stuff, mate, because you bring up some really good points.
£230 in a week.
Yeah. Thanks for working that out, Henry. That is a lot of money. That's probably near enough his wage a week, because he's classed as a labourer, so he's not a fully qualified one. He's only just recently started doing it. He's changed jobs, so he's only on the basic at the moment. So that's that's most of his wage that he does. He still lives at home with mum and dad. So
imagine if he gave up on all the shinies he could have with that money.
Yeah. I keep tending to watch the shows and or watch them at a later date, and I'm busy, and so I've sort of given up. I'm not really in touch with him that much at the moment. So I've tried. That's all you can do. You can't force somebody to do something that they're not interested in doing. So you try, you get it out there. If they choose not to do it, that's their opinion. Move on. There's only so much you can do.
Right. I think we'll finish it there because we've gone nearly 10 minutes over, lads.
And I didn't even get to do the hand check of the week.
Do you want to do the hand check of the week?
I could briefly, quickly, but it looks like Jamie's falling asleep. So
in our group where we do the hand check of the week, and I know who's won it. Yeah,
I don't because these pricks don't fucking talk to me.
He wasn't there. He's on the page.
I'm never.
All right, what we're doing, Neil, we'll leave it. We'll do it next week.
All right. Yeah.
We'll talk to Jamie.
Well, we'll talk about it. Right? Yeah, stop him.
I'll never stop moaning. I'll moan about something else next week.
Right,
this is very true.
Right, we're gonna do a hand check of the week, and this does not mean like a Molly or.
Wait, let me get comfortable. So, is this actually a meeting before we go? Hold on.
Well, hang on. I thought I was explaining it.
Well, go on then. Go on then.
I just said I'm not doing the hand check of the week thing, then. And
right,
then
go on. Sorry. Go on.
Basically, I didn't run it past any of them. I didn't run it past Neil, and I didn't run it past Jamie. So basically, what I wanted to do was the website that we've got. I wanted to do a hand check of the week. Now, what that means is a post will go up on our Facebook group. Under that, you post your hand checks. Now, it doesn't mean, Neil was explaining, it doesn't mean just taking pictures of your mods. It's got to be the scene behind as well. So you see some pictures, they get some really good backgrounds on it or make it look really good. So it's got to be
it's not got
involving that. You can post the mods, but if somebody posts something with a good background, they've probably got more chance. But basically what it will do is on a Friday show, we will pick the best one out, and our website is getting a lot of hits at the moment. I've been keeping an eye on it, but your mod and background, if it is a background or not, will get posted up on the website for 1 week, and the following week we will replace it with the next one. And we'll keep it going like that for a little while and just see.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
It's just showing your mods off, basically. Like we've got the hand check gallery as well, where you can just upload your mods to it. You can even do it on there. That's on the website as well. Post them on there, and us admins, us presenters, will go through and pick one out and choose on Friday's show.
Why Ashley was thinking that, because the thing is, if someone with a really high-end mod is going to win it instantly, that's not going to be the case. We want to do it as fair as possible. If someone did it off a cliff like that with even like a cheapest mod, we go, well, he's brave doing that, then he's getting that. You know what I mean? We don't want you to try and kill yourself. Do hand checks, by the way. But it just gives it fair. If it's a really good, like the scenery background and stuff like that, if it's a high-end mod and scenery, yeah, it's going to win. But we're going to try and make it fair because we don't want to. Oh, you're the best photo because you've got the best mod. We don't want it like that because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
We do the hand checks throughout the week anyway. So the normal hand checks, if you're just at work and this is what I'm vaping on today, or Jamie sometimes will go, what's everybody vaping on? That's fine. Do what you want. But the website one's a little bit more advanced. So obviously, it's a lot of people get the vape going around the back of it and stuff like that. It looks really good. So yeah, just little things like that.
Oh, Henry's gone now. He said he's had a blast. Thanks.
Excellent. It's nice to see new people.
Yeah, I think he thought we was going because I said we're going to go.
Yeah, we have overrun. So I do apologise.
Right. Bye, everyone. Like, subscribe, come to our Facebook page, Dripping Coils Show, and the website, drippingcoilsshow.co.uk. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Go on, Jamie.
Basically, exactly the same as what Neil said. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with our garbage for however long it's taken, an hour and whatever we're on. An hour and whatever we're on about now. I'm sorry I had to put up with Neil's mixing calculators. But if there's a good side of it, YouTube cocked up a bit. So saving grace. So yeah, please like, subscribe, join us on Facebook. We do have an after party in Hangouts. Link is in Facebook. Come and join us. You'll probably be totally trolled to death because that's basically what we do in Hangouts. We're kind of calm in here because if we swear,
if you want to laugh, just come in.
Yeah, if we swear too much, we end up doing forfeits. As it stands, only Neil's done one,
and that'll be it.
And that'll be it because we're not that dumb, right? Okay, over to you, Ash.
Yes, thanks everybody for watching tonight. It's been an absolutely great show. Yes, we have overrun tonight, but sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. So we make up for it. But like, subscribe, please share, and we shall see you next week, 9 PM UK time on Friday. Take care, everyone. See you next week.
Neil, did you speak to that bird about your chlamydia? Did you tell her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because she's Facebooking me saying you didn't.
Yeah, I'll do it later.
Yeah. Okay. Shit, are we still live? Oh, well, that's fuck that up then.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now everyone knows. Oh well.
You might know you got the clap, man.
Yeah, I'll match your anal AIDS.